So let's see how it does on a full mix. Can this $9 plugin make my drums bigger? It's Upsizer from Eva Instruments. What is this Upsizer FX from Eva Instruments? It should make sounds feel bigger, not just stereo widening or compression or EQ. It's supposed to add supporting layers on the original sound. Let's have a look at the interface. So as we can see here, we have a type of mix that we want to use it for. So if we choose female vocal, male vocal, we can see that the actual controls here change. The body tune changes to hertz. So for example, at the first example, we used the full mix patch from the plugin. Here we have a mix root. So the key note of the song, in my case, was F sharp. So I just moved this to F sharp. And we have an input slider, output slider for gain matching. Here we have some metering on the left and right side and a big size knob in the middle. Unfortunately, there is no bypass button, but here in Fruity Loops, I can just click the button here and bypass it manually. What we can actually do here in FL Studio is have a look with an analyzer to see what this plugin actually does. So if I bring up a free utility that you can download as well, it's called Bertom EQ Curve Analyzer. It's like Plugin Doctor but free. I don't have Plugin Doctor at the moment, but we can see what type of EQ this Upsizer does. So let's move it to Universal and turn it on, and let's look here at the effects it has on the EQ curve. So for the moment, if you don't bring it up, it doesn't do anything. So let's bring up the size. If I start bringing up the size, you can see here that it does some kind of phasing. I think it's trying to make the sound wider, and it starts boosting a certain frequency. I think this is the 220 frequency here, the body tune frequency you can adjust. So as you can see, it boosts this frequency. It goes all over the place because of the phasing stuff. I think here, because it's doing this widening effect, I think it's trying to do some stereo widening. It looks a little bit jagged, but in the context of the mix, if you actually use it on sounds, it doesn't really sound like that. So you should be all right. One thing I wanted to note in my example when we used it on the full mix is that I had already some stereo widening. So let's look here on my mix bus. So here I'm on my mix bus. I already started doing some stereo widening on the melodies themselves. So for example, here I started making them wider. So the plugin itself, when I inserted the plugin, it kind of crashed the signals to mono. So let's try to use it on the drums without, let's remove it here from this mix bus and start using it on the drums without any stereo widening effects, and we'll mute the melodies as well. So let's have a listen to that. So let's listen one time without and then one time with Upsizer.
Samastano.
So what I heard in this example, it's kind of boosting it, but you have to be very, very thoughtful about that body tune boost that you're doing, because as you saw with the Bertom EQ curve analyzer, you are boosting a frequency, key frequency of the drum kit. So I can hear it in the snare a lot. Maybe we can tweak the body tune around a bit so that we get a nicer sound, or maybe put it in key so that we can, you know, make it more subtle, because I can hear it a lot in the snare. So I'm thinking to just reduce it even more to have it very subtle, because that EQ boost for me is doing quite a lot. So let's see if we can fix it a little bit more. Yeah, this sounds better. So it was kind of a whoosh. Listen for it in the snare, in like the tail of the snare. It makes it bigger, but the snare has a whoosh to it. Let's see if we can adjust. Let's keep the size on 100 and adjust the body tune. So I think for my taste, for this specific drum kit, I would keep it at 13%, because that snare is starting to get like a whoosh sound to it. Let's try it on the kick drum individually to see how it sounds. So let's keep this on the drums and copy it over to the kick drum and see what it sounds like. So I kind of feel like it makes it more aggressive. Let's put it one time to listen with it and then one time without. So I kind of sounds more tame with it off. Yeah, I kind of like it on individual tracks. It's kind of hard to make it sound nice on like a full mix, but maybe if you use just a little bit of it, you can get away with it. So there are a few pros when you're using this plugin. You have a simple plugin, you get fast results. It's useful for thin sounding sounds, like a very thin or boring kick drum. It works very good for individual sounds. In my experience, not that great on a full mix, but it works great on individual sounds. And the best part, it's only $9 and it's on discount right now, so go and check it out. The cons are that it doesn't really work that well on a full mix. You have to really try to dial it in, or just give it like a pinch of salt with the plugin to really make it sound okay. It has that like whooshing and that EQ boost to it. And it also, if you have a really wide synth or drum sound, or you have applied some stereo widening to your mix, this plugin has the tendency to take that away. So if you are doing some stereo widening, use this plugin first and then add more widening if you want to make it wider than that. So yeah, it can become over processed and maybe not every sound needs it. And be careful with the thing that it does to your low end and the stereo image when you use it, because even though you heard the kick being fatter and more present, I think it also boosted the low end a little bit more as well, so you have to keep that in check as well. So yeah, the final verdict: Who is this plugin for? I think for everybody who wants to try it out to see if they can get away with a little bit more stereo image and presence on their drums, on their synths, before starting using other stereo plugins. So yeah, I can definitely recommend it. For $9 is really not that bad. Eva Instruments makes a lot of great plugins and also sound banks. I personally own the virtual image plugin from them. I bought it myself and it's a very cool plugin. They also made the Nearizer, which is very similar to this one. But yeah, they make great plugins. The most important thing about their plugins, they try to make a plugin that replaces some suite of plugins that make your life easier. But yeah, in this case, this plugin is a must-have if you want to try it on your drums to see if you can make them wider and bigger. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth $9 to try it out. I think Eva Instruments should also include a demo on their website to let people demo their plugins, but at that price you really cannot really complain, you know. But if I were to think about which plugin from Eva Instruments I should buy, I would definitely buy the Eva Instruments Virtual Stage. That's my favorite plugin from them, hands down. So yeah, this video has actually been sponsored by Eva Instruments. They sent me this plugin for free. They did not control whatever I say about the plugin. Just wanted to put this in there so that you know why I'm reviewing this plugin. If you liked this review, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see more of this content soon enough. Catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.